You are listening to the Profitable Content Creator Podcast. This is the place where content creators come to learn how to create profitable content that positions themselves as an authority and grows their online businesses. Get ready to take your content to a whole new level with your host, Kristen Poborski.
Your fingers are getting in the way of your AI. So if you've been using Claude or ChatGPT and the output keeps coming back a little flat, a little generic, not quite you, I want to show you exactly what's happening because it's probably not the tool and it's probably not your prompts. I build AI business teams for entrepreneurs and I keep seeing the same thing trip people up, even me. So today I'm walking you through why typing is the real bottleneck, what I switched to, and how one specific tool changed the quality of everything I am getting from my AI. And by the end, you'll have something simple and free to try today. I have a simple concept. I call it sticky business. Sticky means something like a person, a process, a system is becoming a block, a place where things slow down or stop. I run this check on my business constantly. Where's the flow getting cut off? Where does everything have to come through me before it can move forward? When I find something sticky, I'm already asking myself, how do I fix this? How do I get that knowledge out of someone's head, my own, into a system? How do I build around this? And that's the whole reason I built my AI business team and why I build it for others. It's a set of agents that handle specific parts of my business, content, emails, client delivery, real workflows, not just asking AI a question here or there. So let's go back to the whole thing about what was going on and why I switched from typing to doing my AI a whole different way. The system was working mostly for me, but there was one sticky I hadn't found yet, and I didn't see this coming. It was me. Yep, I was the bottleneck, and here's what I mean, and why it comes down to how you're feeding your AI. Every time I sat down with my AI, my Claude project or my chat or whatever I'm using it, I thought I had everything it needed. It's all built into it, right? Stories, context, how I run my business, my methodology, my clients, my offers, everything, the full picture. But when I typed it out, a filtered, shortened version, when I started working with it, showed up in that prompt box. That is where the block, the sticky part was. It was my fingers. What I knew in here wasn't translating out here on the keyboard when I was working with my AI. So here's what happens. I'm going to share behind the scenes. When you type, your brain, it edits how you go. It's not just writing. You're thinking about spelling, phrasing, whether this sentence is getting too long, and something all there in all of that, the good stuff gets cut out. And I'm a really good typist, but there's just something too slow. It's just not getting the flow out of my brain and into that chat. And for AI, that's a real problem. The more context you give it, the better your output. And that's not just a theory. That's just how these tools work. Give your AI half the picture that's coming through your fingers, and it fills in the rest with something generic, or it just kind of gives you a blah output. So I started using the built-in microphone in Claude, and that already was an eye-opening, different experience. Things started coming out more naturally. I was giving more context without even having to try to. Less thinking, less filtering, all of that. But it still had a limitation. It still lived inside of Claude, but most time when I wanted to work across multiple tools or really download a long stream of thinking, it hit a wall. And then I found Whisper Flow. Whisper Flow is this voice-to-text tool that sits across your whole computer. Any app, any text, any field, you activate it with a hotkey and you start talking. So instead of typing into the chat, I talk to my AI. I download what I'm thinking very quickly in half the time. Better context, more context, the whole thing, the stories, the context, the background, the tone, it all comes out fast and natural. And your AI, it gets the full version of you. Not a sponsored video. And I use this every single day. So this is not a sponsored video. I just use this tool every single day, and it was just too good not to share. So let me just share with you what exactly happened when I started using this on a real project, because this is where it all clicked for me. I was building out the other day a replay email sequence for a webinar I was running. This is exactly the kind of work that my AI business team does for me, especially my webinar email agent. Before Whisper Flow, I'd sit down, type out a little context, I'd plug in my transcript, all of that, what I thought I want people to feel, what stories I wanted to reference, what the energy of it would be. But I was typing and uploading. And when it came back, it was okay. My agent was doing what I asked it for. But the problem was I was giving it trimmed down version of what I actually had in my head. With Whisper Flow, I still uploaded, but I sat down and downloaded all of my expertise and my knowledge without the limitation of having to get my fingers in there and start typing it. I could go that much faster. And trust me, I'm a really good typist. I talked about the webinar. I talked about a specific moment when someone asked a question I knew I wanted a reference. I talked about the feeling I wanted the last email to land on. I gave it everything. Fast, natural, real, from my personal expertise. Much better than my fingers could have done. And the emails that came back were the best I've ever gotten out of my AI. Now, they've been really good before, but these were way more tuned into my stories, my voice, my specific details. And I didn't get fatigued. I was in the flow with it. It was me and my agent working together in this kind of flow that I had not experienced ever before with AI. So when you stop filtering your brain through your fingers, your AI finally gets to work with all of you. And I want you to just let that sink in for a moment. And here's how simple the whole thing is to try. All you got to do is download the Whisper Flow. There's a free version, and it works both on Mac and Windows. Open up Claude, ask it how to help you get it all set up. And that's how you get started very quickly. So here's what we cover. Sticky shows up in places you don't expect. Mine was my own input with my AI. Switching from typing to speaking using Whisper Flow gave my AI the full picture, and the output completely changed. Now, you don't always have to use Whisper Flow from this. You could just get started using the microphone right inside of Claude. But if you want, so that's a place you can get started. And when you do that, you too can be in that flow state and watch your output completely change. And if you're curious about the AI business team system that I talked about before, the agents, the workflow, how it all works together for you, I've got something for you. It's called the AI Business Team Blueprint, and the link to get that is right down below in the description. So now you've got everything your AI needs. Stop letting your fingers filter it.
You've been listening to the Profitable Content Creator Podcast, where content creators go to learn how to take their content creation to the next level. If you love the Profitable Content Creator Podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give us a review on iTunes. Until next time.